I was working on another video for tonight, but I decided to make this quickly and I'll release the other video tomorrow night. The video I was working on was called Mass Shootings and how the media reports them and how it relates to Islam. And I decided to go and have a look at terrorist incidents, Islamic terrorist incidents, and I just checked Wikipedia because I know it's not completely, it's open to edit, but it's a decent source. And I decided just to have a look at 2016. I was absolutely amazed at how far back it went and how numerous Islamic attacks have been, or attacks carried out by people in the name of Islam, to be more specific. I'm just going to read out a summary list for 2016. Afghanistan, January. A Taliban suicide bomber detonated himself in a French restaurant, killing 15 injured. India, January. A suspected Jaish Mohammed militants attacked an Indian base, killing 7 security forces, several injured. Iraq, January. 5 Islamist suicide bombers attack an Iraqi military base, 15 dead, 22 injured. Afghanistan in January. A militant drove a truck packed with explosives to the armoury gates of a compound for civilian contractors near Kabul airport before detonating. 30 people injured, including children. Libya, January. In the Zaiten truck bombing, Islamist militants detonated a truck bomb at the police training camp at Al Jafal in the coastal town of Zaiten, Libya. 50 plus dead, 100 plus wounded. I have to put my glasses on here. Libya, January. A car bombing at a checkpoint in the Libyan oil port of Ras Lanuf left 7 people dead and 11 wounded. Egypt, January. 2 militants armed with melee weapons and a signal flare stormed a hotel, 3 injured. France, January. A 15-year-old Turkish ISIL supporter attacked a teacher of a newish school with a machete, 1 injured. Iraq, January. ISIL gunmen detonate suicide vests in a shopping mall, killing at least 20 and wounding more than 40 people. Turkey, January. An ISIL suicide bomber kills 10 tourists and injures 15 more in the centre of Istanbul. Indonesia, January. In the 2016 Jakarta attacks, 4 assailants killed 2 and injured 24. The attack was orchestrated and financed from ISIL in Syria. Somali, January. Al-Shabaab terrorists attack an African Union Kenyan army base, killing 63, several injured. Burkina Faso. In the 2016 Ouagadougou, I can't say that, Islamist gunmen armed with heavy weapons attacked a restaurant in the heart of the same place, in the capital of Burkina Faso, killing 20 people and injuring 15. Pakistan. At least 22 killed in Bachakan University. Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack. Somalia. Al-Shabaab attack on a beachside restaurant leaves 20 dead. Cameroon. Suspected Boko Haram insurgents blow themselves up in a market, killing at least 25 and injuring 62 others. Nigeria. Boko Haram gunmen raid a Nigerian village. At least 65 people were murdered, 136 others injured. At Ivory Coast, this is March. Al-Qaeda gunmen stormed 3 hotels in the beach resort city in the Ivory Coast, leaving 18 people dead. Iraq in March. In Anbar, ISIL suicide bombers kill at least 24 in a municipal building. Belgium. The Brussels bombings include 2 suicide bombings in Brussels airport and 1 bombing in Brussels metro that result in 35 deaths and more than 300 wounded. Yemen, March. 3 ISIL suicide bombers strike security checkpoints at the Yemeni city of Aden, killing 26 people. Iraq, 30 people killed and 95 injured after a suicide bomber blows himself up at a football stadium south of Baghdad. ISIL claim responsibility for the attack. Pakistan, in the 2016 Lahore suicide bombing targeted Christians who had gathered on Easter Sunday at Gulshan-e-Iqbal Park. The blast by Jamaat-e-Ahrar, a Pakistan Taliban faction, killed at least 70 people and injured 300. Afghanistan, the April 26 Kabul attack targeted a security team responsible for protecting government VIPs in Kabul. The attack killed 64 people and wounded 347. It was the Taliban's biggest attack on an urban area since 2001. Bangladesh, attackers hacked a university professor to death in the city of Rajshahi, Bangladesh. ISIL claimed responsibility for the attack, stating that they assassinated him for calling to bring atheism to the city of Rajshahi in Bangladesh. Bangladesh, April. 2 gay rights activists were hacked to death in the capital of Bangladesh, Dhaka. An Al-Qaeda affiliated group claimed responsibility for the attack, saying that they killed the two as they were pioneers of practicing and promoting homosexuality in Bangladesh. Iraq, at least 40 people were killed and 60 injured in a car bomb attack in a market in Baghdad. ISIL claims responsibility. United States, 49 people were killed and 53 injured at a mass shooting at a nightclub in Orlando, Florida. The shooter, Omar Mateen, pledged allegiance to ISIL by specifically calling police and journalists several times during the incident. France, June. 2 French citizens, a police officer and his wife, were stabbed to death in Magnaville, France, by a man swearing his allegiance to ISIL. ISIS soldiers infiltrate a refugee camp at a Jordanian post near Rukban, killing 6 and wounding 14. ISIL later claimed responsibility. Pakistan, assassination of Amjad Sabri, claimed by a splinter group of the Pakistani Taliban, who accused Sabri of blasphemy. Bangladesh, gunmen killed 20 hostages, 13 hostages were rescued, 2 police officers and 6 terrorists were killed. 1 terrorist is in custody. ISIL has claimed responsibility, but according to Bangladeshi officials, the attack was carried out by a homegrown militant group. Iraq, July 2016 Baghdad bombings. 2 coordinated bomb attacks killed over 300 people and injured 221 others. Indonesia, July. A suicide bomber has attacked a police station in central Java, killing himself and injuring a police officer. July, Iraq. A coordinated attack involving suicide car bombers, suicide bombers on foot and gunmen against the mausoleum of the Muhammad ibn al-Hadi, a Shiite holy site in Baghdad, killed at least 56 people and injured 75. ISIL claimed responsibility. Germany, a 17-year-old Afghan refugee injured 5 people seriously, 2 critically, with a knife and a hatchet on a train near Würzburg. The attacker was shot dead when he attacked the arriving police officers. Germany, a suicide bombing outside a wine bar in Ansbach, Germany, in which the bomber tried to bomb a large music festival going on at the time. After detonation, he injured 15, 4 seriously. Many videos were discovered of him pledging allegiance to ISIL. The bomber himself was the only fatality. France, July. A priest's throat was slit and 4 nuns were taken hostage in a church in Rouen, France. The IS-linked Amaq news agency said that 2 soldiers of the Islamic State carried out the attack. The 2 terrorists were shot dead by French authorities. One of the men was known to French intelligence services and was on the French government's terror watch list, known as the S-list. Pakistan, August. 77 people were killed and over 100 injured by a suicide bombing at a government hotel in Quetta, Pakistan. Now this is Wikipedia, this will be a generalised list, and I understand that a lot of these are claimed by ISIS or claimed allegiance to ISIL and that sort of thing. But the people who claim allegiance to it, it doesn't matter if this isn't a card carrying organisation, they are carrying out these murders and attacks in the name of the religious ideology that they believe. They wouldn't be doing it if we're not seeing, I hate to take sides, but we're not seeing people murdering and claiming in the name of Christopher Hitchens. I did a rough count of this, and the deaths of Islamic terrorist attacks, and just in 2016 alone. On this list, it comes to 1,151 in dozens of separate events. I took a rough count of the injured, and it's a couple of thousand. Now, these deaths alone are horrific, but the point of this is this is exactly the tactic. It's not about a mushroom cloud over New York City. It's about creating genuine fear and terror and spreading it everywhere. It's like a spider's web. It needs to be a network of small, independent, unpredictable flashpoint attacks. They need to do as much damage, as much mayhem as possible. The injuries are to them as important as the murders. I have no doubt about that. They need to leave ripples in the pond. They can't just leave bodies in the street and then that be it. They have to have this carry on and the fear spread. I was genuinely shocked when I read this list at how many of these attacks are carried out in lands and countries that are predominantly Islamic. The amount in Afghanistan and Iraq are shocking. This isn't just an assault on what, as we are always fed by our own media, an assault on Western people, Americans, UK and Europe. This seems to be a global jihad taken on in hundreds of places. I was fairly shocked to read this list, because even after doing a fair amount of reading on it, I feel like I'm completely ignorant on the scale of these hundreds of small attacks. I would advise you, even if you just go to the Wikipedia article saying list of Islamic terrorist attacks and have a skim through it, you'll probably be as shocked at the volume of it as I am. And for anyone thinking I'm picking on Islam, well, I suppose I am a little bit, because the religion right now, they're the set of ideas most responsible for the amount of murder and fear in the world, outside of huge government regimes bringing war. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'll get back to writing the script for the other video and post it tomorrow night. Thank you for listening.